Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Well, as you see, I'm now into actually forming a panel line. So we are into the block sander now. No more doing the little tiny dents, which I'm assuming are hail. Now we're into the rear quarters where we actually have to make a large flat surface. And those flat surfaces will continue up onto the roof here. So now we go from the little palm sander into an actual block sander to clean this up a little better. And I have to say, it's working quite well. So yes, this week has been good on the old 64. We are down to a butter smooth finish. Not a mark, not a dimple, not a line, not a scratch line, anything. It has turned out awesome. This detail that is just so many details in one, I've got them almost perfect. That bumper is going to fit right nice in this little spot. The only thing we got here, as you can see in the light, it is pretty sunny right now with the door cracked. You can see this deflection right here. There's a little spot here and right here. You can't really feel it. If you really think hard as you rub your hand over it, there's a little bit of something, but you can't feel it. But man, when the sun shines on it, you notice it. So once I'm done down there and put a little bit of body fill on, I'll bring my block up here. I'm going to work on this to see where the low spot is, because it looks to me that's a low, or that's a high and that's a low. I'm going to work that a little bit, find out where they're at, clean the primer off, put a little fill on there, and then come through and block that again. Now, inside here has been the absolute most tedious thing ever. There are so many edges and curves and dimples. And then, of course, in behind here, this is just a thin stamped edge. So much sanding, all done by fingers. I've got a couple good cuts from fine and sharp edges. But if I don't get at least some kind of a profile from sanding on any of these corners and grooves, the paint's just going to peel off. The primer's not going to stick, top coat's not going to stick. So I've been doing my diligence and I've been working hard at it. This is something else here. Look at the gaps in the original car. Like they just kind of glued it on there. And when I say glued it on, this thing is literally glued together with lead. All this is filled with lead, and it's been an issue. It's you got to be careful when you're sanding it, because it takes it off quick. So you got to be careful what you're doing. But I managed to clean up some of the spots really good. And overall, I'm extremely happy how this is turning out. Now, getting down inside here was a bit of a chore. I can't get my sand in here anyhow, so all I did was with a piece of 60 grit on my hand, I just did the best I could, rubbing all around down in there, everywhere I could reach. Then I went through with an 80, scuffing it up, and then to a 120, and that's about as far as I'm going to go. It's literally every edge in there is sharp, cutting knuckles, cutting fingers. But all I need to do, like I said, is just get a profile on it so the paint sticks to it and I don't have to worry about peeling out. Once the door goes in, it's all the way up into here. You're not really going to see this too much. As long as it's the same color as the rest of the body, everything will be fine. Now, I have decided to put the rocker guard all along the bottom here, where you're stepping in and out, and also right underneath the car, rock chips and stuff like that, rocks come with tires. I decided I'm going to rock guard that. And the rubberized coating I use on the floor is primeable and paintable, so that's probably what I'm going to use. And I'm thinking of maybe spraying it in here so it gives a kind of a uniform texture all the way in, so it doesn't just look like it's rough metal. But now that I'm on hand sanding, I don't really have anything sucking up the dust, so all I got is my vacuum cleaner. Kind of just poked it up here. It's taking the fine dust out of the air. I have had to blow the filter out, so it is working a little bit. But I know where my spots are low here, where it needs some Bondo, so now I'm just working my way around the back side here. Now we got some high spots as well. So as I've been sanding and finding high spots, I'm working them with my hammer, just bring them down just a little bit, and I sand a little, hit it until the sandpaper is just barely scuffing it, and I'll put a coat of Bondo over that, and hopefully everything's good. And I'm just working my way around all the way. And then that Bondo is dry and hard right now and ready for sanding. So I did my sanding and I put another layer on again. I could see the low spots. It's fairly hard, but not quite hard enough to sand. and I've been going back and forth too much outside. But up top here, the first sand was pretty good, and I didn't have a lot of spots. There is the odd little pinhole here and there. I got a couple little pinholes there, and I think I have, where is it at here? I had another one here somewheres. Oh, and a little nick right there. Just a little tiny nick. But that's stuff that I'll mark and I'll leave for when I do the final glazing putty, just to catch all those little spots. And of course, this is all I had left of primer. And for 2 days now, the kind that I like to use, the Rust Stop Rust Conversion Primer with that self-etching, they're all out of Canadian Tire. They haven't had anything for 2 days now. So this is all I'm going to get done for now. I'm going to let this harden up, final hardening on that. I'll come back and do some sanding, same as the other side. But I got a ton of stuff to do outside. It's now, it's dried up really good today. Had a nice wind, so it's time to till the garden one more time for planting. And we still got to do a little bit more pool stuff. And yeah, spring is usually busy. But anyway, just a short video. Love you all. Catch you again later.